Did you miss me? Because I'm back. Another topic. So earlier today, I had a consultation with an individual who is currently an intern for a CRO. And he is working with 2 senior CRAs. And he indicated that his assignment for today was to go back through the temperature logs from 2023 up until this point. Talk about a lot of data. And he said it was not digital. They recorded manually daily. And he was tasked with recording each temperature excursion. So can you imagine going back from 2023 until now, assessing for each temperature excursion? So hopefully the site didn't have that many. But he indicated that he documented some. So this is the issues that you run into. Let's say he just found 10. One is enough, but we just gonna say 10 in that time frame. And they were never reported to the proper individuals, whether that there is a portal that they report them to, or email address that they have to send a paper report to, whatever, however the study is designed. It was never done. These are the issues that you face. You face a quality issue because you're non-compliant with GCP, and you're non-compliant with the protocol, so you possibly facing protocol deviations if it's outlined in the protocol that excursions need to be reported. Usually 99% of the time it will be. And you also can run into a safety issue. So even though some drugs indicate that they have to be between 2 and 8 degrees Celsius if it's refrigerated, 20 to 25 degrees Celsius if it's room temp, and I think 35.6 to 46.4, somewhere around there. Don't quote me. But if it's supposed to be frozen, then you want to make sure that it's within that range. But sometimes the investigator brochure or the pharmacy manual has what's called approved variations. So it might be up until 1.5 or up until 8.9, the drug is still okay. So the excursion still should be reported, but we know based on pharma toxicology data that the drug is not unsafe. So that's the first and foremost thing we need to figure out. Were the excursions so out of range that the drug was no longer safe? Then you have to go and see, are the lot numbers or the kit numbers associated with that excursion, have they been distributed to a subject? So say for instance, a drug should have been refrigerated, protected for light until 30 minutes before you giving them the drug. But your excursion showed that drug was out of temperature range for at least 24 hours. And they were and drugs in that lot or in that group was given to 5 different patients. You need to report that now to the IRB, because that might be considered a medication error. That might be considered something that's a safety issue. And God forbid that a subject reported a AE or SAE around that time, or even up until they got out, that could be associated with that IP being out of range. So people might not take temperature excursions as serious, but they are very important, because a temperature excursion is the difference between the drug being active and not active. And it can be the difference between the drug being safe and not safe, which messes up the study data and puts the patient in jeopardy. So it needs to be, the failure to report the temperature excursions and patients did receive IP needs to promptly be reported to the IRB. Now let's just say you had a temperature excursion and you reported it on time. Remember that drug has to be quarantined until you receive information from the individuals that are evaluating the excursion that it is safe. So don't take it out of the required temperature range. So if it should be refrigerated, keep it refrigerated, but maybe place it on a different shelf, put stickers on it, say quarantine, put them in a Ziploc bag, and keep them in the refrigerator. So never remove them from that place of storage until you hear from the individuals that make the determination. Now, if they make the determination that the drug is no longer safe, you have to get rid of it. Then you change the status in the IRT from quarantine to destroy, and then you can pull those out of the section or the temperature range that they need to be in. Now, if it's room temp, it's going to stay in room temp, but you need to make sure it is away from the safe inventory, and it's placed in a place for destruction. Now, don't physically destroy them until your CRA comes and do a drug reconciliation, because even though we have determined that they are unsafe, that CRA needs to look at every kit number that has been determined unsafe and make sure you've pulled every one of them, and then make sure you've indicated on the master IP log that they have been destroyed. Only then can they potentially be destroyed. That is up to the sponsor. The sponsor might say, we're still not destroying medication until the end of the trial, or we're going to destroy it quarterly, or we want the kit sent back to depot. So make sure, don't be too much premature on your actions of destruction until you follow up with your CRA. So this is just some tips on temperature excursions. Follow me for the next video.